Yo, guys. All right, sweet. I hope you can see me. Thank you for watching this video. So in this video, I'm about to break down my 17.5K day. I broke it down to the people in the program already. And, I basically what you're going to be watching in a few minutes is me breaking down the entire process, right? So yeah, look, this specific video, I think that's the biggest day I've had so far, which is 17.5K closed in a single day, right? This isn't commission, this is deal, right? It's a deal that I closed. And really, I want you guys to understand that what we teach you guys in this program is the exact same things that I've used to close this deal, right? And for me, it's been a really, really long journey to get here. But the purpose of having this program is to shortcut that same journey for anyone that decides to start working with us, because there's a lot that went into closing this deal, right? And there's a lot that I've learned before I was able to close this deal. And yeah, I mean, without without further ado, let me stop holding you guys back from watching this video. And yeah, this is going to be uploaded to YouTube, so make sure to hit that like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to you know comment your questions. And if you ever got any question for me, my link to my Instagram is down below, so hit that link. But yeah, enjoy the video. So yeah.
Hey, hit the record. All right, sweet. It's recording. All right, guys. So basically, I'm about to break down a $35,000 deal that just came through, and
Holy mackerel.
it's not all profit, right? But it's a pretty big number, and I'll break that down for you guys right now, right? So basically, Syed, right? Appointment setting, he booked in the call, right? Using our appointment setting framework. He had a little bit, he edited it in his way, but he still ended up booking the meeting, right? And then from there, instead of a one call close, I decided to, take this call in a different method because one, I understood the prospect, right? And I really wanted to understand what the prospect wanted, right? So the same process I use in appointment setting, I used on this sales call. The difference is it's a call, and I'll say it took 1 week for the whole first section of the deal to go through, right? So we met on Friday last week. That was the first meeting. And on that call, it was a discovery call. So on that call, my goal was to really just find out as much as I can about his business, which I have these frameworks for you guys as well. It's the hiring call script, right? But the way it went down is I asked him all the questions that I needed to know to see if whether or not we could actually help him, right? Now, I'll give you a secret. I didn't know that I could actually help him, even though I said I could help him, right? So that was the first call. Then after that first call, I was like really, really excited because, I was like, dang, this could be a really, really big contract. And then from there, I started reaching out to everyone in my network that could do certain services for me based on what this guy wanted. This dude is doing around he's doing around 3 to 4 million a year. And his goal is by the end of this year, he wants to be doing 8 to 10 million, right? And he's already on track for that. He just wanted us to come in and speed things up, right? And so on the second call, me and my partner, we both hopped on that call, and we broke things down a little bit more, right? So the second call, we still didn't pitch a price, but on this call, we wanted to really just stabilize exactly what we're going to be doing, right? Because just like clarity is important in every area, it's going to be important for you to state exactly how you will be helping someone and the purpose of everything, right? You don't want to just give a price based on each service. You want to give a price based on what they can expect in return, right? And that's the value proposition, right? You don't want to just charge a certain fee because it's going to cost you this much. You want to charge a certain fee because you know that in return they will make a tremendous amount of money, right? So you don't want a price based on service. You want a price based on value, right? So in that second call, I didn't pitch a price. All we did was, okay, this is the strategy that we have roughly come up with. This is exactly how we think it'll help your business. This is what you can expect in return, right? So then, and these services, right, it ended up being YouTube, not content creation, but YouTube management, YouTube editing, like optimizing his entire YouTube so that he has leads coming from YouTube. And then the second service is we're building two communities for him. One for B2B, another one for B2C. So B2B, business to business. And then B2C is basically people that are interested in starting their own shops in their, whether it's coffee shops and stuff like that. And the other one is going to be people that are ready to start and they're looking for contractors that can actually do this job for them, right? And so those are, I'll say, the primary. Then the sub services that we're also giving him is email marketing and nurturing, blog, as well as if I could remember the last one, newsletter. I think that's the same as email, but I can't remember. But so how did we end up charging $35,000? Right now, it's not $35,000 up front. It's after 45 days. So here's how I decided to structure it so that he was more willing to pay that kind of money. Right. So instead of me saying it's going to be X, Y, and Z up front or X, Y, and Z for this, I stated, hey, look, this is going to be a 45-day trial. After these 45 days, if you like the direction that everything is going, then from there we will start to build out infrastructure to support all these different things, right? I just gave you guys the gist of the services that we're going to be doing, but there's a lot more on top of that, right? Because we're going to be doing appointment setting as well. We're going to be doing a few different things to optimize his entire business, right? He has three companies, roofing, construction, and architecture. So we're optimizing his entire personal brand as well as his company's brands to get him, basically make him more money, right? There's really nothing else. He wants to make more money. Those are the vehicles that we're going to be leveraging to make him more money, right? And so that $35,000 deal is over 90 days. That's for 90 days. And then if he wants to continue with us, which that's the goal, to over deliver so that he wants to continue, and then we sign another contract and then another, just keep going on that. So the first contract is, I'll say it's a 2-day period, not 2-day, 45-day period. So that 45-day period is we get 50% of that 35,000, and then the next 35 days, 45 days, we get the remainder, and then from there, we just start to go in 90-day loops, because a lot of people don't want to be stuck under long-term contracts in case you cannot deliver, right? So the better you are able to deliver on these different services, whether it's branding, content, community building, outreach, appointment setting, right? We're not just doing one or the other. We decided to combine everything because this guy wanted everything, right? So number one, I took the time, right? I didn't have to do 3 calls, but I chose to do 3 calls because to me, I believe that's how I was going to best understand his company, his products, his services, and his goals. And then the next call, before the next call, which was the second call, so it took 3 calls to close the deal. On the second call, I decided to strategize and come up with different strategies that we can implement to actually help him grow and help him start to make more money. And then on the third call, I didn't just pitch and say it's going to be X, Y, and Z. I reviewed everything from that first call, right? And then after the review, right, this is a good way to review follow-up calls. First, you catch up, you do a little bit catching up. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? And then now you want to really just recap everything you went over in the previous calls, their goals, their mission, their visions, and then you recap the exact services you're going to be offering and how you're going to be offering it. Then one thing I like to say is it only comes down to X, Y, and Z price, because when you frame it that way, they're like, huh, okay, it only comes down to this, right? Versus it's going to cost you X, Y, and Z. I say it's only going to come down to X, Y, and Z price. And so I'll say this was my first biggest deal that I signed personally. I've brought bigger deals to other people as an appointment setter and as a growth specialist. But for my own business, this is the first time I've ever, got this type of deal on a
That's
contract.
incredible, bro.
And thank you, man. And this, I'll say, the biggest lesson I'll take away from this is not just patience, but actually taking the time to build a skill, because my sales isn't that strong, right? I didn't even think I was going to close this deal, but I chose to remove all the thoughts about anything, whether I removed every expectation and I just decided to, okay, I'm just going to tell him exactly what we're going to do for him, how we're going to do it, and what it's going to potentially cost, right? I thought he was going to be like, no, that's too much money, or I didn't know. But I said, this is the price that I'm going to charge, and this is how much it's going to be. And then he just said, okay, I'm willing to work with you guys because I believe that you guys can get me the result that I want. So, I mean, maybe you guys were expecting a much bigger breakdown, but is there any questions?
Yeah, I have one question. Um, One question that I have is like for like the growth specialist thing, did you use like the same scripts as like you usually use, or like how did you structure that?
Do you mean for the sales call or do you mean for the appointment setting?
Like just for the appointment setting part?
Yeah. So what Syed actually did is it's funny. It's he leveraged the way we book appointments, but the way he went about booking it is he he first found out about the guy's business and what he did. Then the way Syed pitched it was the types of services that we can do, right? And so because of that, it got the guy's interest. So it's about creating curiosity, right? So it's the same process. You
Right.
create curiosity, and because of that curiosity, he wanted to hop on a call with us. And so from there, Syed sent him the booking link, and then he booked a call, and then the rest was up to me, right?
That's
But
Alright.
incredible,
that was
bro.
the phone
So
booking
no,
process.
when I was chatting with that particular person, the only thought I have is I'm a doctor. He's a patient. Yeah. So
Exactly.
this is what the exact thing in my mind. So I'm a doctor. He's a patient. So first I've diagnosed his illness, and I tried to give the solution for that. And I created my his own pain, and I've created some curiosity. Finally, the call got closed.
Awesome, man. Awesome
That's
job.
incredible, bro.
So,
I
guys,
got a
Congrats to
question,
both
right?
of you guys.
I got
thank
a
you, thank
question
you.
for Duno. So Duno, so you said that you outsourced it like to meet the client's needs, I guess. So do
Yeah.
they get paid too, or like off the deal or not?
The client, or do you mean what do you mean by
The
the
pe-
client?
the people that you use to outsource to get to the
Oh,
solution.
so to get to the solution, yeah, they're gonna get paid as well. So that 70, the 17,000 isn't just me. So I got to break it down into, okay, Syed is gonna get his cut, and then the company I'm partnered with is gonna get their cut, and then whoever I need to hire is also gonna get their cut, so that we can deliver, right? So this is why it's extremely important to price your deals correctly. Otherwise, which this happened to me in the past. So when I first had my TikTok agency, I ended up charging $2,500 for 4 months, right? And then and give me one second. And then from that $2,500 for 4 months, I made no money. I made less. Like, I didn't make less. It dipped into my own pockets just to deliver the service. And sometimes you'll find that a client is not worth no matter what money they're gonna pay you. So right now, I haven't exactly calculated the exact profit, but it's way more than what it was for that TikTok agency deal, which was like 2 years ago now. And it was a $2,500. It wasn't even upfront. It was a payment plan, and it was like $500 every 2 weeks. And then that $500 every 2 weeks went to delivering the service. So one, I didn't have enough profit. Two, I actually ended up spending my own money just so I can deliver the service. And then we still didn't get the results for that client because it ended up being a pain in the ass client, because one, their expectations were too high. Because a lot of times what you'll find is the people who do not pay you a certain amount, they will demand the most. Whereas the people that pay you a much higher amount don't have huge expectations, but they still expect you to deliver. They expect you to
Right.
deliver on what you promise. But the people who aren't paying you that much typically expect crazy things from you, right? I hope that makes sense, Dylan. Did I answer your question?
Yes, correctly.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Is there any other questions, guys?
What was the other day I was gonna say? Hold on, I still have to think about it. Just let everyone else answer questions first.
Yeah, no worries. I think Leroy, I think you had a question, or Byron. I think one of you.
Oh no, no.
No, I didn't have a question. I just really sorry for the background noise in chat.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I know what my question is now.
yeah,
Wait,
no worries.
for like the partnership thing, is Robbie your partner?
No. Robbie's doing something completely different.
Yeah, because I thought he was doing like this thing that said like it was like sales at scale or something, but then I thought he was also working with Ravi, so I wasn't sure.
Oh, no. That's something completely different.
Oh,
Sweet,
cool.
sweet.
I was just
So
wondering.
yeah, no worries. Is there any other questions, guys? Did I break it down enough? Is there any particular question on how we're gonna be going about delivering the service, or is that it? Because I don't want to keep you guys here any longer.
Yeah,
Yeah, what's up, Byron?
I've got a question. So would we be like helping like you to deliver that stuff?
Potentially, right? Because this is why network is extremely important. Because maybe I'm not able to deliver it all by myself, but because I know people that can help me deliver, I can get those people to help me deliver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So once I
Also,
strategize everything,
I'm sorry.
and then I'll see exactly who I need, and then based on that, now it's like, all right, hey guys, can you help me out on this thing, and then if they say yes, cool, how much? Cool, here's the price. Awesome, here's your payment. Awesome. It's like the business world works entirely different than the everyday world, because it's either, hey, how much is this going to cost? Oh, it's going to cost this much. Cool, here you go. All right, let's get to work. Right? That's literally what happened. He paid. He was
Right.
like, he paid me, and then he was like, all right, man, let's do this. And I was like, all right, let's do this. Right? So it's like, once the more money passes through your hands, the less you're gonna feel with money, right? So because for him it's an investment, right? He's investing in the long-term growth of his company. So he doesn't see it as he's losing that money. He sees it as he's gonna be making more money
Like
this
opportunity.
much. Exactly.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with that. Yeah, because like I mean, for example, like when I got that $50,000 a year deal, they saw it like same thing, like as an opportunity, right? Because like not only am I doing like the growth marketing for them, but I'm also doing like their marketing research, right? Like looking at other competitors because they want to see like what all their other competitors are doing too, right? Because then they know like, hey, what do we need to change this time, right? What do we need to change with our content? And in that niche where the content is very bland, right? So you have to have like really, really cool infographics to stand out, I feel like. And that's why it has to be modern, educational. Sorry about the background noise. Um, but yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I think so far it's gonna be really good.
Yeah. And just like, and that's true too, and just like I think you were just saying, George, I think it was you said, is it about guiding your client into seeing it as an opportunity? Right. So when you say client, do you mean client or do you mean prospect on a call? Do you mean someone that's already working with you, or do you mean someone who's not working with you yet? I think George means before they work with you, in case he's not able to hear me. Okay, yeah, someone not working with you.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah. Someone not working with you. Yeah.
gotcha.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm just in agonizing pain.
yeah,
But yeah, go on.
yeah, no worries, no worries. So yeah, so when someone's not working with you, I'll be sharing these exact same frameworks with you guys when you're on a sales call. So typically you have you have a few different phrases, right? Phases. So the first phase is the discovery phase. You can do all of this inside of one call. I chose to do it over 3 calls, right? But doing this inside of one call, you need to be really, really, really skilled, right? In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, right? So it's just like the appointment setting process. Find out their needs. Can you actually help them? Okay. If you think you can help them, how can you help them? Right? Deliver some value, some forms of education, educate them a little bit. And that education on a new process. And because this guy, he's never done anything in this space in terms of communities and YouTube, right? And his biggest client came from a YouTube video that he made a year ago. So he wasn't even paying attention to YouTube, right? And then he got a call, he picked up the call, and then it was $1 million contract. And the guy said he booked a call because he found his YouTube video. So I was like, huh, okay, how can we capitalize on that deal right there to earn you more money, leveraging YouTube alone for the long term? And then what can we do in the short term to get you quicker results, right? So I gave him a short-term plan and I gave him a long-term plan, right? So on that short-term plan, it was okay, over the next 45 days to over the next 45 to 90 days, right? You're not really going to see results on YouTube because YouTube is more long-term, right? But you will see results through our appointment setting process as well as the community building, right? And because of that, his main expectations are is he going to be getting phone calls? Is he going to be hopping on Zoom meetings? Or is his team going to be doing that as well, right? And so those two aspects, short term, I gave him a short term vision, but I also gave him long term vision, right? Because if I only gave him the long term, he might be like, dang, I have to wait this long, but I'm paying you right now. If I only gave him short term, okay, maybe he'll sign, but he's not he doesn't he's someone who's looking at the long term, right? So me, when I started explaining this is going to compound over time, over the next 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, he said stop. I want it, right? Because I showed him the value over time, right? And it's just like if he was someone chasing instant gratification, this is the number one thing you'll notice in big people, big businesses. They don't chase short-term gratification. They always build for the long term. They want to have a solid foundation so that 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, everything they've built is giving them massive returns. Does that make sense, George? So creating that curiosity is one, educating them, two, showing them exactly what you're going to be doing once they start really asking you the right types of questions, right? So in terms of, I'll say the best way to educate a prospect is to, one, show them or tell them about your process or your company's process of
So
doing
show
things.
results.
Exactly. I mean, dude, here's what's funny. I've never done this before. He asked for results, but I didn't share those results. So me leveraging my knowledge, I showed him how it was going to work, even though I didn't do it before, right? So everything I'm explaining, I've never done it. Like I've done it individually for, like as separate services, but as a collective, I've never done it as a collective. So I leveraged my expertise on all these different things, created a roadmap, created examples of how it would work, the problems that we could face, right? And I educated him that way. Because he asked me, he's like, well, my heart sunk when he said, can you guys show me proof? And then, but I was thinking, well, a year ago, I was doing this in a different business, right? I wasn't the owner of the business, but I was inside of a business working with a law firm that was, I think it was a $60,000 contract, and we were doing a lot more, right? So I explained that to him. Then I also, showed him the website of the company I was working for, and he started to see those results. But he didn't ask for that. He only asked for proof that I knew what I was doing, right? So you have to be careful with what prospects are asking you, because you don't want to give them what they are not asking sometimes, unless it makes sense to give it to them, right? Because sometimes the more you give, the more they're going to demand, right? So if you start just spilling out information, spilling out things that they didn't even ask you, you want to be very careful that what you're giving them is going to lead them to wanting to work with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you don't want to slap yourself in the face. That's what
Exactly.
you're saying.
Exactly. Byron, I think you got a question.